that. I brought something to stimulate some conversation, and it's stories that a lot of people have not heard. But Tony, if you could come on back up, Tony Atlas.
Oh, he's very shy.
We're going to do, one of the big things we've done at this
Tony,
museum.
do you know how to tell a long story?
We've done unboxing videos, which are always a surprise for people. We've done it since we started.
But this is wrestling, not boxing.
Since we started here, we've done unboxing videos, and what's going to happen right now, and even Bob was not aware of this fact that I brought up a little earlier. So I'm going to have Tony open up what's in this diamond box, and Bill, from there, you're just going to go, and everybody else can add into this conversation, because it's going to be a great conversation starter. But even the pro wrestling fans here probably don't know about this piece of history. So Bob, I'll give you the mic.
This isn't Bruno's body, is it? Oh. Okay, just want to make sure.
Tony? Go ahead.
Yes.
No. Keep going.
Oh, look at this. Oh my God, Prettyboy Larry Sharpe.
That's my trainer. That's the guy that trained me.
None of us knew that, by the way.
Well, it was no wrestling school there, so I had to meet him at the
Use the microphone. Give him the mic.
Well, see, there was very, well, I don't know in other places. I think they have one, Johnny, we know, in Calgary. But down south, you know, where I'm from, I moved Virginia Hillbilly. We didn't have wrestling schools, so they would take me to the Charlotte YMCA, and then they would train me, you know, on a mat. I learned how to take bumps, everything. Larry Sharpe, Gene Anderson, and Ole Anderson, they would come down and work out with me. Walk back Daniel worked out with me. The Aaron Sheik came down and stretched me. But Larry Sharpe is a guy that trained a lot of wrestling. As y'all know later, what Larry did, he opened up a wrestling school in the Northeast, was called Monster Factory.
He and Buddy Rogers.
Yeah, and now another guy that trained a lot of people that people don't know. One of my very best friends in this business was a guy called Special Delivery S.D. Jones.
Oh, yeah.
Well, anyway, S.D. Jones was trained by no other than Johnny Ross. So this Johnny Ross and these guys, most of the wrestlers you see standing out here today, if you're in New York, you're trained by Johnny Ross. You were down south, it was Larry Sharpe, Playboy Larry Sharpe. One of the best people that I ever know, and I just wish that I have not had such a hard head and listen to some of these people, because they both gave me good advice when I first went to New York. Johnny Ross, me and SD was riding together. Johnny said, "Kid, you got the green light. They're gonna go all the way with you." And I didn't understand what that meant at that time. They won't go all the way, mean champion. And he said, if you don't screw up, he said, if you screw up one time, they will never stop screwing you back. And sure enough, I screwed up, and they never forgave me. But if I had listened to Johnny, I don't mind, I know he don't make me tell his story. Johnny knew everything that was going on in the wrestling bit. He was going to, because Vince used to go into, Vince Sr. would go into the bathroom and talk to the agent and people they would talk to. Johnny would go into the bathroom, get on one of them stalls, and he would put his feet up on the toilet. And so they would come in the bathroom and they would look underneath the stall to see if they see anybody's feet, and they get them talking. And Johnny was grabbing all the information. But the thing that I remember most about Johnny, everybody here know this, who was the first person you got in the ring with when you went to the WWF? Who was the first wrestler everybody came in and had to wrestle? Johnny Ross. Because Johnny didn't give you nothing. He made you work for it. So if Johnny gonna put you over, he ain't gonna lay down and look like a piece of crap for you. You know, and if you can't hold your own, Johnny will eat you up and chew you out. He would put you over after he kicked the crap out of you. So what Vince would do, he would say, I remember Vince Sr. say, "You did good with Johnny." I said, "What's so special about Johnny?" Vince Sr. said this about Johnny: "If you can hold your own against Johnny Rod, you can hold your own against anyone." So he was tested to see what you was made out of. Because wrestling back in them days, it was kayfabe. So they would not want to put a belt on anybody that they figured would go to the local bar and and get beat up. That's why we said Harley was the best, because Harley could beat up anybody that he wrestled in the ring, and he could beat up anybody on the outside of the ring. I was in Missouri, and I just started wrestling and stuff. And I see all these guys with the Confederate flags and all this stuff around me, and I was kind of scared to go out to my car all by myself, 20-year-old kid. And I said, Johnny said, why, Harley said, why you still here, kid? You was on first match, you should be gone by now. I said, I'm scared to go to my car, all them people out there. He said, I tell you what, you tell them that you know Harley Race, I whooped everybody in this town.
And he did.
And he whooped everybody in Kansas City, Missouri. Nobody didn't beat. Davey O'Hannon was a guy that always tried to would give you the shirt off his back. He complimented you in the ring. He made everybody work with him look like $1 million. He had the best attitude of anybody in the business and the best businessman. Then when Vince fired a whole bunch of wrestlers, David came to me. Once again, hard head make a soft behind. I didn't listen. If I listened to Johnny, these are two people I should have listened to. He wanted to give me SD got a job. Gave SD a job at the New York Times.
New York Daily News.
New York Daily News. SD ended up becoming his boss.
I said to him one night, how come you got a better job than me now? What's going on?
Yeah.
Well, listen, I'm really humbled to be here. And I got to tell you guys, wrestling has all changed, and most of you guys are young, and we kind of represent what they call golden age. Johnny Rods, Tony, Harley Race, they were and are real live legends, There was nothing like our business. The other thing that really needs to be said is, there used to be the Hall of Fame in Amsterdam, and it was big, and times were different, and the Hall of Fame, the fellows that were running it, did it for 16 years, and they were kind of worn out. So they thought they found somebody that they could trust, and they moved it to Texas. And to make the story short, these two grifters that took it to Texas wrecked it, robbed it, stole the money. What you're seeing going on here with Seth and his crew, they're saving the Hall of Fame. And it takes a long time to get something going. And I'm going to tell you something. What he's saving for guys like us and for Justin, because
That's right.
Harley would be a quiet guy about it, but you could tell what he's thinking. And he would have approved greatly. So Seth is not letting this go, and that means so much to us. And the reason why is that professional wrestling was so important to us. It was a dream come true.
Yeah.
And a lot of us did things, we didn't wreck our lives, but a lot of us could have done things differently in our lives, and we didn't. Because of wrestling. But look at what we get back out of it. We're seeing our friends. And I got to tell you, your father was such an influence. When I walked through the door, I went, oh no, I saw your face there. I saw your face. Harley Race was on an elevator in Amsterdam, New York, at one of the hotels we were staying at for a Hall of Fame induction. And my son was with us. And my son, however old he was, he said to me, well, I don't want to wear a jacket and tie. I said, well, okay, then go wait in the car for 2 days and then we'll take you home. No, you have to wear a jacket and tie, all right? The elevator door opened and Harley was in there and he didn't have a tie on. And somebody said to him, you see, I told you you should wear a tie. And Harley was standing up and my son was standing there and Harley went, you're in a lot of trouble, kid. My son was afraid for about a month. And I said, no, he was good with you. And when I saw Justin here, that's one of the memories I have. Seth and the crew at the International Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame is keeping it alive. I got a suitcase somewhere with Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling sticking on it. And I gotta tell you something. And I'm not being corny about it. I can look behind me. A lot of times my wife has given me the signal, cut, your stories are too long, okay? It's so important to us. We sit sometimes and think of things. Wow. I bought that suitcase in 1971. You remember that? Oh, we weren't married then. Look at that. How about that? Anyway, Seth is keeping the International Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame alive. Sometimes it's not as big as it was, but everything starts small. But it's got to have the support of people like you, and that's the truth. Because a lot of us have trouble getting around. You know, a lot of us have. I've had 9 knee surgeries. I've had both hips replaced. I just had a procedure on my back Monday. We're going to make an appointment for another back surgery. So all this stuff. So when we sit and talk with each other, all right, Tony and I haven't seen each other in a long time. All we have to do is look.
Yeah.
That's all. Bill Apter, we were at a WWF Hall of Fame induction for this guy. And I went on the road. I was all over the place. I worked all the territories. I was at the time a single guy. Well, life couldn't have been better than that. And across the big room, I looked, and Bill Apter and I made eye contact. Do you remember?
I do.
And I went, because I called him Billy, I went, Billy! And he stood up and I stood up, and it was a reunion. This kind of stuff is important. There's not many of us left. There's not many guys that work the territories and got to be with the legends. So I'm humbled. I'm with the legends. There, Bill Apter, Tony Atlas, Rocky. I'm sorry Rocky's not here.
Yeah.
When we talk about Harley, I was a brand new kid in 1970. I wasn't even in the business. I was trying to BS my way in. And I snuck into the dressing room at the Kansas City War Memorial, and they worked there on Thursday nights, and Harley was there. Well, I was petrified. I wasn't in the business. And back then, you didn't go into a dressing room. Nobody got in there. That was our little world,
Yeah.
kayfabe. And we were really serious about it. So I think the point of this is we're getting to see our friends and
We're like
see you
family.
guys and
We
the
are.
fans
Yeah, we family.
without the fans. And I mean then and now. And now.
That's right.
Without the fans, without their support, no professional wrestling. You know, you're not going to the Greenville Auditorium or Madison Square Garden or the Kansas City War Memorial or the Sedalia, whatever it was called in that. Yeah, whatever it was called, in that park, yeah, in the park. I mean, all of these places, for us, it's special, and it's special that you guys show interest in support, so we really do appreciate it, and thank you for that. Now, my wife probably gave me the cut sign already. She says your wrestling stories are way too long. Well, wait until tomorrow.
We must be married to the same woman.
Bill, I need to slip something